Chat, are you ready? The game is broken again. The patch had some side effects, so we're gonna make the best of it, and we're gonna make a tunnel tier list. The tunnel is confirmed and announced, but there are also many other tunnels in the game, of course, that are great. Some of them are amazing. Some of them should maybe not in the game. Someone also made a tier list for this, so thank you very much for that. Let's just work our way through this. We have some interesting things here. I had a little brief look at this already. Very interesting tunnels on the list. Let's start with, we have World vs. World, the GW2 tunnel that is not really leading to the actual GW2 area. It was used a little bit for this before we had the arena with all the features added in Edge of the Mist. It is a tunnel in a jumping puzzle. But also, weirdly enough, not actually following the path of the jumping puzzle. So I remember when I did this, it was I was following it, of course, and it didn't lead anywhere, and I just got lost. So it's not like the most impressive tunnel, but it's a funny one for exactly the reasons. If you have never done this jumping puzzle before, I wouldn't rate this like super duper high. There is a little bit of history to this. With this GW2 aspect to it. I think it's in the middle of the road, perfectly fine tunnel for that reason. There is not much happening in it anymore, but yeah, I have to think about it my first time doing the Obsidian Samtung jungle puzzle. So we have Kaineng City, entrance to the city. Let's see. Oh, this is from the port area where you can actually go through. There's not really much in it. There's no events or anything. I think there are not even vendors in it. The only cool thing is when you actually come out at the end of it and you see the first bits of the city. But other than that, it's very bland. It's not really colorful. It's yeah, it's one of the weaker ones, in my opinion. So next, Dragon's End, the fishing tunnel, the so-called fishing tunnel. I remember when they previewed some End of Dragons maps in the official streams. They were traveling around the quarries, the jade quarries, and the water that is now in these deep holes, basically because of rainfall, supposedly. And then they basically steered into a wall, into this green bush hanging off the side of the wall, and entered this tunnel. And everyone in chat just lost their mind because it was so cool. The lighting in there, the ambience, it's really big, it's very extensive. There's not much in it though. There is a point of interest, there are fishing holes. You also get into the tunnel from the mini dungeon from the other end, basically. I like the ambience in there, but I think they should have done an event down there, maybe even as well. Maybe even a like a third Goliath. Was it Goliath? The big fish, basically. Maybe a third one in Dragon's End below the map or something. I would say, due to the fact that there is not much in it except fishing and the ambience is cool, it's, I would say, higher B tier. There will be more in beer probably. But yeah. Also middle of the road, but on the higher end easily. Echo World, tunnel to the hero point. Let me see, which one is this? Oh yes, so it's from the lake area. It's one of the hero points that's a little bit more easier to find, where you just follow on the southwest end, next to the waterfalls, into this little cave. It's a very short one. It has fishing holes as well as a hero point in it. I remember the hero point is also a ruin, a very old ruin. Very nice feel, very mysterious. It took a long time for a lot of people to actually find this, even though it seems very obvious. But there is also there's a hero point at the end of it. I think even a point of interest. I would say, God, this is already difficult. I know this is gonna be a mess later with all the other tunnels. It's not catching me as much as Dragon's Anti-Fishing Tunnel, I'm not gonna lie. It's just a tunnel in the forest with a hero point. But yeah. Aberstone Club Canach. This is like a high tier easily. Club Canach is amazing. I'm a big Club Canach enjoyer. The thing is, are we going for S tier already with this one? It's incredibly... Yeah, I think we'll just do the S tier, right? It was a secret for the longest time for many players. You have to have finished a huge part of the story to even access it. It is a club. It has a bar. It has a band. It's so different from everything else. I'd like to hang out there a lot. I did the slot machine game for, or not slot machine, but the mini game on the machines for way too long. It is a good time, and you enter this from a very boring looking cave, and then all of a sudden you're standing in this jade and golden colored little tunnel entrance. I like it a lot. Sand-swept Isles, Specimen Chamber. This is the one on the west side where you enter. You have to follow pipes during the storyline, and you follow the pipes and you get into this tunnel and you get to the chamber where the one meta event is happening. Yeah, so it's basically that. You follow it during the story, you get to the meta event, the boss chamber. It's just an inquest tunnel. It's not really spectacular. There are some other things, some mini puzzles on the sides that you can do for achievements. There are some achievements connected to this, but I would say also middle of the road tunnel. So, Sun's Refuge entrance tunnel. This is the one in Joy High Bluffs. I think the entire Sun's Refuge is more or less... Well, it's a cave, right? But it's an entrance tunnel. The entrance tunnel's not very spectacular. The Sun's Refuge, on the other hand, really, really cool. There are even 2 entrances, I believe, to Sun's Refuge. I would put this above entrance to city. Actually, we probably have to move up some things here to A, or we extend this to the bottom because we have some very uninspiring tunnels at some point later on. But yeah. So, Desolation, Order of Shadows. This is... Oh god, Jesus. A little bit hard to tell. Maybe we'll skip this one because I have to remember where this is at. Dragonfall, Crocatorix Bells. This is also only really accessed during story. Where you just get very close. He's buried between below all this earth and rock, and that just fell upon him. And you have to get really close once during the story, also from the south side. But other than that, it's not connected to the meta event. It's not really important to any of that. You're just briefly in it. Yeah. Or is this the one leading through? No, I think that's really it. Yeah. Let's do B tier. Actually, we'll put this a bit higher. The curatorial theme is cool, the crystals are nice. You are very close to the dragon there. There's some escort going by. So there's some stuff actually happening. Yeah. Order of Shadows is one of the Order of Secrets. I'm trying to remember this. Oh yes, I remember. Yes, it's the waypoint in the middle with the little research lab and stuff. Yeah, there's a bounty board next to it. This is a cool one actually. I kind of like it. They have a little outpost situation. You can exit through the other end to get to an area where they're doing weapon tests. And there's a little research lab. I think there's a hero point in there. The bounty board next to it. Things are happening. I kind of liked it. I'm not going in a lot there because, well, first of all, I'm not doing Path of Fire maps a whole lot, but I was doing a million bounties recently, and yeah, that's an interesting one. Let's just say that. Okay, Ember Bay. Start of the jumping puzzle. Yes. Also S tier probably. Yeah, I think we'll just make this S tier. Like, Chalice of Tears is giga famous. Everyone has heard about Chalice of Tears. If you are new to the game, it takes about 5 minutes until someone tells you about Chalice of Tears and that you have to do it. It is... yeah, like everyone knows about this. Everyone has done this a million times for various achievements. It's a good time. It's not the most fun, not for everyone, but yeah, it's almost legendary. Okay, so let's see. Siren's Landing, Balthazar Tunnel. I kinda like the Balthazar Tunnel. It's probably gonna be on the lower A end. It is one of the shrine areas. It's in the northwest area. In Siren's Landing you had to unlock these shrines for the gods as additional teleport points on the map, and in the Balthazar area you had well, a lot of Balthazar minions. There were events, loads of events. There was a well, one of the hardrunners, of course, obviously, and I always went there when I had to do dailies and stuff. It was one of the ones that is not as annoying as well. The Lissa one in Siren's Landing, not a good time, really annoying with the illusions. The one with the gliding, having to collect relics with the updrafts, not a good time. So this one is rather enjoyable to do. The enemies are quite dangerous if you are not careful, or if you like not super comfy with your character build yet. So yeah, I really enjoyed the Balthazar's corner over there. Dragon's Stand, the tunnel lane. Ah yes, so south lane basically. It is the last stretch of south lane basically in Dragon's Stand. It's a cool one. Do I put this above? It's part of the meta event. Things are happening, side events are happening. There's the spider champion after the meta event at the north end of the tunnel, a little next to it. Ley lines are going through. You still have this Mordrum feeling that you already got from the Tangled Depths tunnels. That just keeps on going there. It's a rather short one, but I like it. You get to fight a legendary enemy, enemy waves, of course, all that kind of stuff. It's a good one. Tangled Depths Ogre Lane. Yeah, now we get all the Tangled Depth lanes. They are all part of the meta event. Of course, we just go in order. I find Ogre Lane to be very boring. It's the one that just always dies fast. Nothing is really happening. The eggs are very uninspiring. You just kind of everyone just AFKs in the corner, nukes the eggs, then you nuke the Chuck Garant for like 20 seconds, and you move on. It's incredibly fast paced, but not spectacular in any way, shape, or form. The Chucks on the Ogre lane are really annoying. The hero point is a challenge for a lot of players there, but I would like I think they will go all in A tier because they are somewhat cool, but Ogre lane is more towards the bottom. Let's go. Nuhoch, annoying to do with the mushrooms and all that kind of stuff. It looks really cool though. Do you think they're all S tier? I don't know. Let's just make a quick one. I think Scar. I like Scar more than Nuhoch. It dies last usually. I like the additional threat on Scar with the well, first of all, it just takes longer. You have usually poison coming through. At this point, when you get to actually kill Scar, I like this additional threat. The New Orleans is just annoying with the mushrooms. I really enjoy Rata Novo's lane. You have to kill the batteries, you have to destroy the batteries, throw them at the golem. It's very interactive. There's a lot of running around, things are happening. Everyone has to get involved. It's just like a lot of ends getting to work there. So Novo's very good. We have the what else is here? The conference tunnel, which is I believe the middle. We'll put this at the bottom. We have the 4 lanes. Do we keep the order? Novos, Ogre, Scar, Nuach? Yeah, I think we keep the order. And then conference is just the middle where they all meet. There's one event in there. You get the big chest, and then you have the additional wall where everyone is waiting in front of on a regular basis. I wouldn't really put them to S tier. Like, the tunnel has to be really good for S tier, right? So the east tunnel is the one that goes north from now to Novos, I believe. You come from this direction during the storyline. But that's really it. There are like 2 or 3 events in there that nobody really ever does. So middle of the road. Very little relevance there. Ratanovo's meta event. I really like the Ratanovo's meta event. I don't know why this is all bundled in one, but sure. I like the event chain. It goes in all directions. You deactivate the defenses, you fight the golem. You can even go below Ratanovos to fight to get the hero point done if you still need that, and fight the little mushroom. It is very cool. I think we actually put this over the lane. It's just a full package, right? I like this a lot. I also enjoy, since we're on this, man, we have a lot of A tier actually. Dragon's Passage, also Tangled Depths. This is the normal pathway people take towards Dragon's Stand. They rarely actually do the meta event to take that gateway. So they go west past the Chuck hero point, and just run to more and more Mordrums. You come past the hero point at top of the little cliff there, where a lot of people actually also like struggle really hard to even kill that hero point. And then just walk these winding pathways into Dragon's Stand. It looks very ominous. It has a very cool feel to it. I like it. Under Tekunuhoch, the tunnels. Not a lot of people are familiar with these, I believe. The end of the meta event, not meta event, the end of the Tekunuhoch event chain is leading to these tunnels. We'll probably have to actually move debuffs a tunnel. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind there. Also very cool. You only really get there when you do the events in the village, though. I would put this behind the Scar Lane, I would say. A lot of people don't even see these tunnels for the most part. I like them a lot every time when I'm done there. Yeah. Well, it's the water. Oh god, Jesus Christ. More tangled depths. Are they also like, I think like lowest S tier or something? There's a lot of cool things about the water tunnels. First of all, they are below the entire map. Below almost everything there is a tunnel filled with water. There's the jumping puzzle in there. There is you have to go to one of these tunnels when you want to get the invisible chair. There is a tunnel where you get an achievement where you have to dance in a cave. Where you get out of the tunnel up and into a room where you have to get your dancing achievement. You can die in these tunnels. There's a hero point down there. So die basically without the light. There's a hero point down there. You could actually go from A to B in a really long way and fashion. The crystal parts, the bits that are filled with crystals are looking incredible. They are really cool. I like them a lot. There's not much happening down there, but they are impressive from start to finish, in my opinion. So yes, and we don't have a lot of them. The only thing that comes close to that is probably Silver Waste. We'll get to Silver Waste in a bit. Auric Base and Loot Tunnel. S tier as well. Do we just put this at the top? Everyone has seen these a million times. People do this daily, maybe even multiple times a day. Is really good money. It looks impressive. The feel is good. The loot is good. The fight to get there is good. Yeah, so I think that's just a no-brainer. Silver Waste jumping puzzle, also really high. I like it more than Ember Bay. We also put this in S easily. There are a lot of cool things about Silver Waste jumping puzzle. First of all, it's a jumping puzzle. It's spreading over the entire map. It has like 9 checkpoints or something, maybe even more. It's incredibly long. There is a point of interest in the jumping puzzles. You have to do the jumping puzzle to do 100% map exploration. There is the achievement with the golden coins. Some of them used to be incredibly hard to get. Now it's way easier, of course, with mounts. Well, in the parts where you can actually still use your mount. It's the ship upside down in a cave. So, yeah. And it's an insanely huge cave. It was incredibly fun to figure that jumping puzzle out back in the day when that dropped. I remember this. We were a really huge team of loads of players, just spreading out in all directions, trying to find a way through this. It was a good time. Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of effort in this. It's cool. Silver Waste, Gilded Tunnel. Which one is that again? Silver Waste Gilded Tunnel. Can we? Which one is that? Oh, is this during story? Oh, I see, I see. Yes, I know. So, Living World Season 2, basically, is doing a story chapter. I think that was the one where we fought one of the jungle dragons, or like plant jungle dragons. You don't really see this tunnel a lot, just basically once when you play the story. I would put this, it's a cool, it gives you a little taste of what's to come in Auric Basin. That's the one with cave, yes. We're not talking about more like story related stuff, but yes, that one. So it's a cool one. The dragon one is fight. It gives you a little taste of everything that's coming in Auric Basin, because you already see parts of similar looking ruins, very gold colored and all that. It's like a little sneak peek for that. And the fight was cool with the dragon. Drizzlewood, 42nd waypoint. So when you did your Drizzlewood run, halfway through on the west side, you have a checkpoint, of course. Well, the checkpoint is halfway, right? But you have a waypoint on the west, and caves going north from there. You have to do a lot of story things in this cave. It's really annoying back and forth. There is with Braham to like talk to all the spirits of nature and all that. There's an adventure in it, in these tunnels, where you have to of the ox, I believe, where you have to collect orbs. That was really annoying to do. But yeah, there's an adventure in it. There is the gate at the end with the shrine guardians, not shrines, the spirits. The waypoint, there is the sword in the water right next to it. There's a lake. So basically just look in the tunnel, look to your right, and there is this stone formation in the water with a sword where you start your otter enrichment collection thing. I think these are kind of cool. There's a bunch of things connected to it. It's not like you're hanging out there all the time. So I would put this, actually, I think the Confluence Tunnel, we can put this down because it's really not that spectacular. What is actually down here? Zoom. Biora marches Drakar. Yes, that is... let's see, where do we put this one? I think we'd put this in S as well, just because of the Drakar fight. It's an escort, it's a meta event, it's an escort, it's really long and big, loads and loads of enemies, very good to farm. Drakar, amazing boss fight. It's very good gold per hour if you can do it very fast. There's some really nice loot you can get at the end there as well. The story takes place there. There are some things connected to collections down there. It's a really cool feel when you're down there. Everything just kind of turns blue, light blue, and you have this shadow moving through the ice. It's amazing. It's a good time. Next we have Thunder Peak tunnel area. This is the one from the forge, when you basically leave the forge towards the east and you just follow the tunnels and you want to get to this surface. The tunnels look very cool. They're of dwarven architecture, but not much really is like going on there. There is a jumping puzzle. Well, not a jumping, well, it's kind of a jump puzzle. There's a puzzle at the other end, basically, when you go past the exit and go down again, which is really cool. I would put this... actually, I would put the second waypoint maybe down here, actually, and B. But yeah, the puzzle is really cool. It took a lot of players a little while to figure that one out. The forge is really cool. I would almost count the forge area towards the tunnel as well. The training area, and yeah, it's It's very impressive in there. Let's see, Dry Top, Scarlet's Basement. The basement is really not that spectacular in my opinion. The laboratory was very interesting, or little office was very interesting once we get there, to just find out more about what she was actually up to. I would put this somewhere in the middle of B, but yeah, there's some logs. It's not really like, it's just a basement, right? That's just what it is, and you have to get through it to actually get to the north part of Dry Top. But yeah, that's just what it is. Skritzberg in Brisbane. Skritzberg, really cool. I had to go there many times for many achievements. I just went there for Winter's Day to get my woolen glider that was introduced with last Winter's Day. For almost every precursor collection I had to go there. It's a really cool place. In general, especially when you're new and you go into this mountain as a new player, and then all of a sudden you just have squid everywhere and this giant cave. You have to do all the events to open the gates, which might even need some coordination to speed this up at least a little tiny bit, so you're not on your very own. But yeah, it's really just that I would put this more. I would actually put this more down here. Yeah. Kessex Hill. It's Gord's Pit. Gord's Pit is... it's basically a tiny tunnel cave with a giant in it. You can fight him, I believe. And you get a little chest. The rocks disappear and there's a chest behind. But that's just really what it is. Actually, we can just... like, this is not spectacular. A lot of people probably don't even know about the chest. Yeah. Let's see, Kessex Hills. Oh yeah, Pig Heart. In the middle of the map, on the south end, you have a little heart where you have to get transformed into a pig, and you have to collect mushrooms or truffles. I never liked this heart. It's not fun. It looks kind of nice in there, but it's just an annoying thing to do. You cannot use your abilities. You're just really as slow as you are. It's just a thing you have to kind of go through and live through in your map exploration, but yeah, it's probably my least favorite bit about Kessex Hills. And then we have the Destroyer Tunnel. I like the Destroyer Tunnel a little bit more. A lot of players will remember this little kid that fell down the hole in the ground, and then you have to escort her through the tunnels again. You also have to go into the tunnel, this specific tunnel, for 2 or 3 precursor collections as well. There's a point of interest, I believe, down there as well, so it's part of the map exploration. But yeah, that's just really all there is to this. Queensdale, the Key Farm Tunnel, which is the ones with all the bandits. I would put this probably below the Destroyer Tunnel. Maybe actually above this. It's just bandits. I don't really personally key farm a lot, or actually at all. I remember though, when I started the game, back in the day 1, when the servers went up, and we went to Queensdale, and then we just explored all these places, and then we went into the cave, killed all the bandits, and then went a little further to the hero point, went up the spiral there, and struggled to fight the enemies up there. It was day 1, nobody knew how to play the game. It was a good time. They have changed this a little bit. Yeah. So good to get the time. And also you get to a second exit that maybe not a lot of people know about, when you go up to the windmill part in the mountain. Gandharan Fields, Provernic Crypt. This is the one in the north, I believe. Or we also put this in C. It's really annoying to do because of all the traps in it. There's not really like a spectacular reward. It's more a little tiny mini puzzle. You have to do that one as well for precursor collections. I never liked it particularly much. I was never hyped about going there. And yeah, it's really not really that special. Gadaran Field's east side of the map. Those are like the core map tunnels, right? They're just the east side of the map has some centaurs in them. There's a hero point, and that's just really it. The tunnel is going from north to south, or the other way around. On the east side in the mountain. There are like 1 or 2 events in there related to connected to the centaurs. And that's really it. You only really go in there for the hero point, I guess. Harati Hinterland. Oh, the Grid Heart, yes. Yes. We do this D above God's Pit. The Grid Heart tunnel I remember vividly because to this day I never actually do the heart in the tunnel. The heart vendor is in the tunnel, there are things supposed to happen in the tunnel, and I never do the things in the tunnel because for the life of me I can't figure it out. I just go outside and kill things in front of the tunnel. I never stay in it for like more than 60 seconds, never ever. It's ridiculous. It's just what it is. So it's just Fostered Bounty in Harati Lands. This is a good one though. It's a jumping puzzle, the one with the ships in the cave. It's a really cool one. You can actually skip your way to the end now with your mount dismount, where you just leap off the back of your mount. You can just skip right to the end. Basically, more or less, you just like don't do more than half of the jumping puzzle. But if you actually do it properly, it's a good time. And I would put this, yes, higher beer, I would say. The puzzle itself is a bit of annoying, but the cave is cool, the ships are cool. There are a few minor traps, I believe, I can remember, on the way there. So there is a certain danger to this, but yeah. Let's see, Harati Hinterland's Hidden Ouroboros. This is the cave with the giant. Yes, if you follow the cave with the giant all the way to the back, it opens up. Basically it opens up into this big cave tunnel, whatever you want to call it, with a lot of oozes in it. There's also, I believe, is there a vista report, like something is in there. You have to actually go there for precursor collections as well, especially for the one for Juggernaut. But that's really it. There's not much else happening in there. The giant in front of the tunnel is, or at the beginning of the tunnel, is probably the biggest problem for players. Very hard to solo, especially if you're only level like 40 or something. Yeah. No Runs Home in Lake Dorek. This is a good one again. It's a really cool puzzle. It's basically a jumping puzzle as well. It's probably lower S tier, but I like it a lot. For the longest part, we didn't really know that this exists. I mean, after a few days, people figured out, right, like how to get through this safely. Especially, there are achievements connected to this. Don't get hit by traps during a certain time, I think, as well. But yeah, avoid all the traps basically was a big one. That was a tricky one. And I believe you could only do it like once a day as well. Something about this, I vaguely remember, I barely remember. But the traps were cool. It was very interesting. It was quite long as well. You had to get the key from the hard vendor, so you had to do a little effort to even get to the point where you can actually do this and open the chest at the end. There were a few achievements connected to this. I had a really good time relating my playthroughs. Metrica Province, the jumping puzzle tunnel. Ah, this is the one to the weather lab, where you have to jump. It's a very short tunnel. It's yeah, it's a short tunnel. You at the end you jump over these platforms, take the Azura portal, and get to the area where you have to avoid lightning strikes and the wind blowing you off the vines and all that kind of stuff until you get to the end where you beat up the professor who's doing like all the experiments. The jumping puzzle is really cool, but the tunnel is just very short and not really that spectacular. Metrica Province Transform Hard. Which one is this? Which one is this? There is a portal in there as well, I believe. Can I have this in bigger, maybe? Which one is that? Is this the ones with the scritch? There's a Azura portal here. I'm trying to remember. I think this is the one with the scritch. There are scritch tunnels, so that would make some sense. Also not like super duper interesting. There's also some scritch. Let's just go with the scritch. That's a bit of the map that I never explore for mega exploration because there's just nothing in it. I could explore it to just have it revealed on the map, and I just never do. And that's just what it is. It's just yeah. I don't know. Actually, maybe for that reason, I even put it on the bottom. Straits of Devastation, tunnel below Balthazar. Is this the one? Yes, I believe this is the one where you, instead of, there's a hero point on the southwest side and you can go basically below the temple area. It's really cool in there. Actually, there are also some events down there, also things that you have to do for precursor collections, again. The enemies are quite dangerous. There are also loads of enemies. I think there's an Eye of Zaitan down there as well or something. Maybe it's the event that I'm thinking about. It's a little tiny maze as well, so you could actually die and get lost in this if you just go by yourself. I kind of like it there. I mean, I liked it there the like 4 or 5 times I was in there. But it's a cool vibe. It has a danger to it for sure. Loads and loads of enemies. With the Lightfoot Passage in Straits of Devastation, this is a cooler one. This is the one in the southeast. When you do South Escort, the South Invasion, and you start going over the bridges to the next islands and to move on, you can also go or turn around, go into the cave, the tunnel to the cave at the end of it. There is a vista in it. There is a character that is involved in the story for a very sad part of the core story as well. That a few players will actually remember. You have to do precursor collections, and that's that one too. A bunch of them. There are ranger pets you can get in there, I remember. It's a really cool tunnel. It's very narrow, and then it's just open up. So it's a very beautiful cave at the end of it. Yeah, I think that was a good tunnel. Malkor's Leap tunnel with hero point. Which one was that? Oh yes, this is a cool one. Actually, we put this here. It's like higher P. This is the one. There is it's basically a tunnel. You can go in from both sides, and it splits up. So it's like this shaped, with the exits on both sides. There's an Eye of Zaitan in this, kind of guarding the whole thing. There's an event down there. People die all the time trying to get this hero point. It's amazing. It's very short, but it's a death trap. It's what it is. It's a good time. I like it a lot. And of course the whole like ore theme. If you can, don't go in this by yourself. It's not a good time. Unless you really know what you're doing. Cursed Shore, Penitent Path. Very unspectacular. Where do we put this one? Yeah, below here. You just go through there. There's a waypoint on this end, there's a waypoint on the other end. There's no event in this, I believe. You just kind of run through, it's just what it is. Things are happening on either end, but not really in the tunnel. So, yeah. Actually, we put this down in C, and then we put Azab Kabar a little bit above this. This is a tunnel into the crypts. There is a vista on top, above the entrance. You go into the crypts. There is also an Eye of Zaitan down there. You have to go there for the core story. There is an event down there, a little escort fighting a boss. There's a bonus chest down there. It's very ominous. It has a cool feel. It has relevancy to it. It's rather short, true, but yeah, you have to go there a lot. It's a very relevant tunnel. Cursed Shore, Tunnel to Grenf. Yeah, see, it's not... You just escort one guy through it. And that's it. There are loads and loads of spiders in there. So if you have fear for spiders, don't do it. Cursed Shore, Heart of Ore. This is... yeah, we just bundle all the ore stuff together. This is like very similar vibe to me, I have to say. The Heart of Ore, very important, of course, for the story as well. When we went to cleanse the Heart of Ore, you also had to go back there to get the different versions of Color Bolt, the Sword of Traherne, or make it a different version, right? To make it a, I think it was a shield, a dagger, and like other ones. Really, really impressive place. It's all, when you can see the Orient architecture, the tunnel is heavily guarded. As well, you have to get through the you have to swim through the waters behind the Temple of Melandru to even get in there. So somewhat hidden as well, actually, this place. Yeah. So it's a good one. I like it a lot in there. Let's see. I think we're like halfway through or something. I don't know. How are we doing, chat? Mount Maelstrom Volcano Tunnel. I like the tunnel a lot. I like the tunnel because of the events. There are loads and loads of destroyers leading up to the meta event. You have elementals in there you have to kill for the precursor collection as well, for the flame dagger, for to name incinerator, on maybe even rot gourd as well. You have to race through these tunnels with the beta racing adventure, which is not very easy to navigate. And yeah, it's a good time. I really enjoyed the beta race there. It's the lead up to the meta event. It's good tunnels. Next up we have Quaggan Tunnel in Timberline Falls. I'll put this in the same line, roundabout-ish. There's a waypoint in this, there's a hero point in this, you have to do things for precursor collections in there. There's a jumping puzzle in there. We can just count the jumping puzzle as well. The jumping puzzle is kinda nice, actually it's not super duper difficult. There are loads of events you can do as well to train your underwater combat. It's a Quaggan tunnel, right? So it's really nice in there with the little Quaggan houses and all that. Yeah, I like it, it's a good time. I like the singing Quaggan in there. If you do the jumping puzzle, you come across the singing Quaggan that sits in the tunnel. And yeah, it's also a good song, I recommend. Timberline Falls, Rancor Ruins, ah yes. Not as spectacular. We'll actually move some things around here, actually. So there you go. Rancor Ruins, also middle of the road. You have to go in for the story as well, core game story. Hero point, but not much else. Yeah, you do it for like water exploration once or twice, and that's really it. Actually, we'll just move this down for this. Like, it's really not like the most spectacular tunnel in the world. Let's see, what else we have? Oh god, Jesus. Sector Zool. I think Sector Zool is really cool. I think it's like almost underrated. It's a jumping puzzle as well. I think not a lot of players have done Sector Zool. It has a very weird difficulty curve. It's like incredibly difficult to get past the icy bits at the beginning, and then afterwards it's just more like find the right path. It's not super difficult. It's like a mid-sized jumping puzzle, but it's like super hidden. It's not like obvious that you can just go in there and there will be a puzzle and maybe even a chest at the end. You have some collections and achievements connected to this. But yeah, it's more like a secret, like hidden tip there. Yeah, I always enjoy my time in Sector Zool, even though it's not super often. Then next, we have something here with Guild Challenge and Timberline Falls, but is this the one in the middle? I think this is the one in the middle with this grid as well. Oh yes, it is. I remember the Guild Challenge. The Guild Challenge was kind of nice, actually. Yes, the Guild Challenge was kind of nice. It's basically in the middle of the big-ass mountain in Timberline Falls. There's really not much to say to this. It's really just a challenge. If you do this as a guild, you come across it. Well, you will find the tunnels, of course, when you do the map exploration. There's also a heart on the south exit. Yes, but the activity, the challenge you just come across when you actually do this with a guild, right? So, yeah. Lorna Pass, Dredge Tunnel, 11,037 or something. Wow. this is the one. Oh god, jeez. Which is this one? I believe this is the one in the north. In the very north. Yeah, it's just it's a heart in there. It's loads of squid. It's loads of dredges. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not. It's you can get maybe lost. You can get lost maybe a little bit, but just that's just what it is. Tunnel to wing 5. Wing 5, amazing wing. Tunnel there, very short, super broken in terms of not maintained well. Yeah, it's like low seat here. Nothing is happening there. Not a lot of enemies. It's just what it is. The wing is really, really good though. Lorna Pass, Dredge Tunnel 69. Nice. This should be the one in... Oh god, jeez. Let me think. Is this the one in the south? No, wait, which? Oh god, jeez. Is this the one in the middle? There's one according to the picture. I think this could be the one in the middle. Where you can go through. It's really just a passage. I think there's not even a heart connected to this. So it's just really that. Then we have the Guild Race Tunnel. Oh, the Guild Race Tunnel is actually kind of cool. It's below the... oh god, jeez. Because the headquarters of the Vigil. Vigil? The Abtei. Is that the English name? The library place. I can't remember. You guys have to help me. Where you can go down. There's this big ass frost worm in there. That's champion, and you have to race through this with your guild. This is a really good one. It's a really cool race. It's a cool tunnel. There's also a hero point in there. Some exploration going on. There is Living World Season 1 content with Scarlet's secret laboratory place. In a side cave, there's a champion event down there. Another champion, actually, there are 2 champions down there. So this is a really cool one. Lorna's Pass, Squid Heart. Oh god. Oh, this is the north one actually. Wait a second. Where did I put the other one? Yeah, this is it's just a Squid Heart. That was the one where I said was like not that exciting and boring. Snowden Drift, Caved in Tunnel. Oh god, Jesus. I don't remember this one. We just skip this one. Snowden Drift's Raven Boss Hero Point. Ah yes, we have to jump a little bit. You have to fight the little lady at the end of the tunnel. The Mesmer lady with all the illusions and whatnot. I don't like it a whole lot. It was always the one bit that I did last on the map for exploration purposes. So... yeah. Actually, it's just not catching me at all. It's just not great. We have King Jealous Refuge in Snowdrifts. It's a like super short jumping puzzle. This is what it is. But not spectacular. It's not really cool, particularly cool, and it's not impressive. There's nothing amazing to see. You have to go in there for some precursor collections, but that's just what it is. There are like 4 or 5 enemies to fight in there. It's just, yeah. Snowdrift's Caved in Tunnel. Which one is this? Dang it. Oh. I can't remember. We just kind of leave this one. Frost Gorge Sound, Dredge Tunnel 1335 or something. This is the one in the west southwest when you get through like all the tunnels, the dredge tunnels. Really cool place. It's incredibly big. I'll actually move this up here. Actually, we'll just put this even higher up. Incredibly big place, very impressive, very open, huge structures, loads and loads of dredges, points of interest. It's really impressive there. It's long tunnels, there's a hardened desk, you can fight with the dredge suit. You can lead the little uprising there with the other dredge workers connected to the heart. It's a good time. Then we have the underwater point of interest. This is basically just an addition to this one. The underwater point of interest is just kind of what it is. Just a little extra dive there into the depths. Frost Gorge Sound, Pointless Tunnel. This is the one that just goes. I think that's just the one that goes below the water. It's just a pipe, basically. Yes, it is a pointless tunnel. It's really annoying to get in there. I don't like it. I never liked it. I hated it. Let's just not even talk about it. So many times. Yes, we have a few more to go, actually. We have about 40 to go. We have some good ones coming up, though. Bitter Frost Frontier Bloodstone Tunnel. This is the one in the it's also a squid area, I believe, where you have to catch some chickens, and you just follow the area through into the area in the back, basically, where you just fight enemies again. I kind of like that one. Because you get into the cave, you thought you're safe, and you just keep going, and then all of a sudden you're in danger again. So cool enemies, not a whole bunch of stuff to do, but I like the vibe. It's an icy tunnel. Yeah, it's good times. The enemies respawn really fast, so you can do some farming. I mean, not really. It's not really worth it. But yeah. Let's see. Wayfarer Foothills. Dredge Tunnel. There are two. This is the one, I believe, where you have to dive through the water or something. There are two. One is in the south. I think this one is the one in the south. Let's just bundle them both together. The Wayfarer Foothills tunnels are pretty cool. I have started as a Norn with Artyo, of course, so that is like one of the very first things I saw in the game. There was just like these round holes in the wall. There's like a lot of nostalgia playing into this now, but a lot of these round holes in the wall or of the side of the mountain, and you just kind of go in there and just like it just leads into this cave, and it opens up, and it's just open up some more tunnels. There's a vista, one of them at the back, and yeah, that was a very cool feel back in the day when I got in there. Now, today, of course, it's not very impressive, but it's my list, and yeah. There's a direct list to this link. Yes, I can give you to this at the end. Next we have Dredgehound Cliffs. Which one is this? Imp Event Tunnel. Ah, yes, this one. This is actually kind of nice. It's a lady doing experiments. Opening this rift, and you have just imps spawning on you. You can solo this event. It's also very good XP an easy XP if you are leveling in this area. You should always do this event. It is actually 2 events. It's just loads of small imps, and then at the end you have, I think it's a veteran spawning as well as an addition to this. I like it. It's a little. I think there's also a heart connected to this, but yeah, it's a nice tunnel. I like it. Tomb of Stonekin. This is stretched on cliffs. This is in the south. There is a door, one of the dwarven doors you have to open with a key. I believe, if I see this correctly, might be mistaken, but I think that's what it is. These tombs, it's basically tombs for dwarves, sealed with doors, and they are keys that drop on the map from random enemies. You can open them. Yeah, I rarely go there, let's just be honest. It's yeah, it's just what it's it's just a thing. I think most people just throw away the keys for this. They don't even ever go there. Then we have Dredgeon Cliffs. Let's see. The dungeon entrance. The dungeon entrance is pretty cool. It's a very brief, like a very short tunnel though. Let's see, where do we put this? It's really just the dungeon entrance, so I guess, yeah. Yeah, the dungeon is really cool though. I like the Inquest theme. The bad guy, don't remember his name, but he was annoying as hell. It was the last dungeon that I finished for my, not Dungeon Master, the armor collections, like armor and weapon collections for the dungeons. That was the last one I finished. It took me forever to find players for that, but the dungeon is cool, and the tunnel. It's just really go in, turn left, portal to the dungeon, that's just what it is. The entrance is very dangerous though, because you have the dredge artillery firing. It's just all over the place. It's a mess. You can get nuked very easily. There's a jumping puzzle in front of the entrance of the tunnel that a lot of people have to do. There's even a second jumping puzzle in the back, above and behind the tunnel as well. Let's see, Dredgeon Cliffs. This might be the tunnel in the southeast with a hero point. Not particularly. We just put this to the other dredge tunnel. It's just what it is. It's a loads of tunnels. Not very interesting. Firehard Rise, Grenade Hard. Ah, yes, that is a good one actually. I like this tunnel a lot, and I like the heart connected to the tunnel, because you get to play with grenades, and the grenades do like a zillion damage. Where do we put this? I think I just put this actually up here somewhere. So there's a heart connected to the tunnel. You can kill, I think it was oozes and imps down in there, and in front you have ice elementals, and you get these grenade kits, and you just have to nuke the living crap out of enemies. And there is an achievement where you have to do, I don't know what number it was, like a crazy amount of damage on an enemy with one attack, and you usually do this on this heart in this tunnel, where you just get one of these grenades and throw this on a level 1 red or like whatever is around, and maybe even crit. So that's like the easiest way to do that achievement in that tunnel. Firehard Rise, Vexel's Lab jumping puzzle. This is also a cool one. I like this one. Let's see. Do we also put this high up here? I like Vexel's Lab. It's also, you can also almost consider most of the puzzle also a tunnel. It's not super obvious. You have to go up a little mountain. There is lava coming out of the mountain, and just flowing down. And it's not like, it doesn't seem super obvious to go up this place and actually into this tunnel. There are these Azura platforms that you can jump on. Sometimes they are powered and you can just stand on them safely, and then they just discharge and you fall into the fire stream. It's not a good time. It's really cool. It's not super obvious. It can kill you if you're not careful. Just always jump onto the outside ring, basically, of these platforms to just be safe in case they just discharge and deactivate. Yeah, it's a good one. Diesa Plateau mini dungeon entrance. Yeah, this one is, I didn't do this a whole lot, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a cool puzzle. It's a mini dungeon. It's a really cool puzzle. It's quite long. You will find groups for this in LFG all the time. A lot of people are getting into this tunnel, this mini dungeon. It's in the core game forever. You need this for collections, achievements. You can die in there and then you have to do it all over again. And yeah, it's a good time. Diesa Plateau dredge stuff. Ah yes, in the north. Boring as hell. It's like my least favorite heart in the map. Let's actually put this to... yeah, somewhere down here. It's not a good time. I hate it so much in there. Let's see. Diesa Plateau Meet Ober Worm Tunnel. This is a better one. Where there's of course Meet Ober Fest. Or like this Meet Ober, where they just drink and eat meat and all that, right? And someone has to go out, slay the worm, get the meat, bring it back, so they have to get to have this party. It's just a tiny tunnel. It's a cool event. It's not like the most amazing thing in the universe. Yeah, let's put it like kind of here. Wayfarer Foothills, Ice Worm Tunnel. Yeah, somewhere down here. It's one of the first things that I did in the game back in the day as well. As a Norn, where you have to escort the dude into the cave, protect him from ice elementals and these ice worms, so he can carve his statue into the ice. So, yeah. It's like 2 or 3 events, also precursor collections yet again, because it's core game of course, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's just what it is. Diesa Plateau Strawberry Garden. I like this one a lot. Let's see. Do we do this A tier? Yes, I think this is like probably A tier. It's one of the... First of all, it's like incredibly well hidden in Diesa Plateau. It's one of my favorite... yeah, when I want to hang out in like some peaceful place with a nice ambience and just like a very... If I would look for a peaceful place, I would go there. It's really cool. There's a little char lady taking care of the strawberries. You have to go through this pipe tunnel, well, but yeah, right. Get into this cave. The light is in there is amazing. I think I took a screenshot of this. This is one of the first screenshots I also put onto my Instagram for the channel. Yeah, I like this a lot. This place. The tunnel is incredibly well hidden. You have to actively look for it to find it. And it's probably like one of the most hidden tunnels. You have to look very closely. Let's see. Blaze Ridge Steps, Azura Tunnel. There is an event to this, the Zorlab. But it's not really like particularly amazing. It's, yeah. Let's see. Metrica of Province, the Fun House. Ah, yes, that one. A little bit more fun actually. There's an event chain just going through the entire place. Let's see, we'll probably put this somewhere here. It's one of the first things Azure gamers did back in the day, or still today actually. There's an entire event chain going through this. There's a hero point in this. It's a very cool Azure lab for a starting area from back in the day. Yes, it doesn't seem like much with this gate in the wall, but yeah, it's a good tunnel. Let's see, Fields of Ruins, Whisperer Tunnel. Which one was that again? Fields of Ruin, Whisperer Tunnel. Is this the one in the east, I think? There's also, I think, because there are not like a million tunnels in Fields of Ruin. Not incredibly interesting either. There are like 2 or 3 events or something that come to my mind over there. Close to the Harpy hero point. I was so rarely in this. Let's just put it to dredge stuff. Just kind of like yeah. It's not a place where you like ever go for a good reason. Grofma Valley, Khan-Ur jumping puzzle. We just add the jumping puzzle in this, I guess. I would just put this with Nornsholm. I think the jumping puzzle is really cool. The entrance is really nice. It requires mounts, unfortunately. The puzzle is really cool. You have to carry your light through the tunnels and the jumping puzzle. You can fall into water, and then well, then you have to just get a new light and start over again. So that is very annoying. But yeah, it's a really cool puzzle that I actually should do a little bit more often. Also, you can get in, was it an infusion, I believe, from this as well. So, worth it, for sure, to do this once in a while. Whisperers Headquarter, Globe Room. It's an okay tunnel, I guess. Put this to like Skritzberg, as I feel like I have the same opinion about this one as Skritzberg. Yeah, you really only get to this one if you actually join the Order of Whisperers then. And if you don't, then you're probably not gonna see this one. So yeah, that's just what it is. And it's just yeah, I don't know, I think there's really not much to say about this one. It's a hidden one. There's some story in this as well, I remember, at least when you play with this faction there. But yeah. South Sun Cove, Stepping Stones, Jumping Puzzle. Do we add the jumping puzzle as well? Oh god, Jesus. If we add the jumping puzzle as well, I will just put this into the bottom. South Sun Cove, the stepping stones are actual hell, in my opinion. I did this once properly, without mesmer portals and anything. It is not great. You can have an even worse time when you have a laggy connection, for example, because the timing matters a lot. You can skip to the end, also there with the mount, the dismount from your mount's back, from the Skyscale, and just skip the entire thing. But I mean, that's obviously not the right way to do this. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not great. I hated it so much. So yeah. Next we have, what is this here even? Does not even have a caption. I don't know what it is. There's no text on this, so we'll skip this one. Wing 4, the prison tunnel. So Wing 4 has a lot of story to it. It's really cool. I actually am not able to solve the riddle, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm usually I'm commander, I'm doing raid trainings and stuff, I'm talking to people on stream. I usually have someone else who does this, or someone who has Blish Hut or Taco, or just follows the trail. Let's put this... Yeah, I will put this like high B maybe. Next we have Wing 2 Slophazor Tunnel. I like this tunnel a lot. I like Slophazor a lot. The ads are cool. You already you're getting in there. You have done Wing 1 for the first time. You're doing Wing 2 for the first time. You're like super weirded out about these ads and like these enemies and what you're supposed to fight there. But Slophazor is an amazing fight. The tunnel is a really cool one. Yeah, there's the golden slupling in there as well, of course, that you can pick up for the additional achievement. It's a good tunnel, and I like Slophazor, so there you go. S tier even, wow. I mean, if we add Slophazor into this, then yes. I mean, we can just maybe, yeah, well, maybe, why not? We'll just like if we just add the actual boss fight to this as well. Like Slophazor is just amazing. It's one of my favorite fights. Raid training area, very important. Every raider goes there all the time to practice rotations, maybe even to check healing, because you can turn off can turn on a damaging field. You can practice your boon up time, rotations. You can do play around with logging, of course, all that kind of stuff. If you set up your RTPS and you just want to have well, some time to actually do that properly, right? You just do all of these things in raid training area. And yeah, it's a really cool place as well, besides that actually. So it's a nice tunnel, it's a nice place. Yeah, it's good times. Dry Top Leyline Tunnel. This is a good one as well. I like it a lot. You basically get to the end of Dry Top and you don't really expect a whole bunch anymore. And then all of a sudden you get into this tunnel there with the Azura lab, where Scarlet had her machine where she lost her damn mind, and then this ley line just going through the tunnel at the top. This is a really cool place. You don't really expect this at all anymore at this point, and then it just hits you. It's this big awe moment. Yeah, that one is a really good one, so that's definitely an A1. Gyala delves the tunnel. So this one, it has not even happened yet. I would say this is easily S tier already. Just because of the memes. It is legendary before it even happened. It is ridiculous. It is the one thing that keeps the the community busy at the moment, memeing about tunnels. That's kind of what happened here with the tier list as well. We hope it's gonna be amazing, of course, so we might have to change the tier list afterwards, but for now it's already amazing for what it did for the community, I would say. You can disagree with me, of course, but yeah, we just kind of put this in here. I like no particular position, it's just kind of up here. So, Caudecos Manor, Rocket Tunnel. I think the Rocket Tunnel is good for players because it makes you pay attention and makes you dodge, and it's a good practice to actually go through this tunnel. But personally, I also found it to be annoying if you just have to kill all the rocket turrets all on yourself, like all by yourself. So yeah, everyone, I think we actually put this in maybe even like higher beer. Like everyone who has gone through the dungeon will remember this tunnel, and most players will probably hate this tunnel, but yeah, it's a very memorable tunnel for sure. Let's see. Ascalon Catacombs Graveling Tunnel. Is this the one with like all the burrows and stuff? It might be. Yeah, it's just what it is. It's just. Where do we put this? Kinda here-ish. Siren's Reef, the bundle tunnel. Yes, so the little maze where you have to pick up the treasures and stuff. I'm not a big fan. Let's just say that. It's kind of cool. I like it. I'm not big. So yeah, I like the tunnel as a whole. From the looks, the fact that it's like a tiny mini maze. I'm not a big fan of the treasure thing. It took me forever to get this achievement. To where I'm not allowed to trigger the ghosts, the spirits. But yeah, it's a solid tunnel. It's a very good middle of the road tunnel. Let's go above all the dredge stuff. Kinda. Yeah, I have to think about how I feel about the other tunnels. I would place this kind of between these guys. That's Swamp Fractal Mossman Tunnel. Well, it's not really a tunnel anymore, right? Because you can access the area of the Mossman with connected to a collection, but you don't really actually fight the Mossman at his hut anymore. So for that reason, like, it's actually not really in here. Let's just say with like from the olden times. Back in the day, I liked this a lot. Let's just go with like back in the day version, because I actually remember that. I like the Mossman fight at the hut with the wolves spawning and stuff. Things were happening. I was actually quite, well, for some groups it was quite annoying actually. One of the reasons why players complained, and then the whole fractal got reworked, and now it's only the tree, which like is like even worse than the Mossman ever was. But yeah, it's a good tunnel. It was also nice that the tunnel actually split up and you could fight either of these two bosses back in the day. So I liked that a lot. That's a good time. Molten Furnace, the drill tunnel. What do you guys think? The drill tunnel is also something that went through a change. We actually put this to the Mossman tunnel on. It went through a change. There is the steam coming off, and I remember the drill. I believe the drill always stopped at the steam, and then you had to go through the side room and make the steam go away, plug the hole, I think it was, drop the stone onto it, and then would move on. I think at the moment it's just moving straight through. You don't really see a lot of the drill actually moving because you're just constantly in these rooms on the side. But yeah, it was already in Living World Season 1, the tunnel, and then it moved into the fractal. So we've done this like a million times already at this point. Everyone is in this tunnel constantly for fractals at different points. It's a cool one. Volcano Fractal. Ah, yes. I like this one a lot. It's basically Indiana Jones but with a fire boulder. It's good stuff. You have to run away from the fire boulder. Well, you can avoid them, right? You can just let them pass, but a lot of people just don't, and then they get rolled over. It's a good time. Nowadays you port around them, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's just what it is now with port devices and all that. But I like it. It's a good tunnel. It's a very interesting twist. You just don't run through it, you actually run away from something. And yeah, I think everyone has died to this at some point. Underwater Dolphin Tunnel. Yeah, it's just like actually the worst. Like the underwater fractal tunnels, both of them are horrible. The one in dark is actually kinda okay-ish, because you can just stick together. Don't ever rush this if you watch this. Don't ever rush the darkness one. Go as a team, carry the light, kill the ads. Rushing this is you turn this into a nightmare. Yeah. So old lines are sewer tunnel. I like this a lot. The sewer tunnel. For a good reason. I actually never used this, but let's just kind of put this in here. The sewer tunnel was really cool. It was part of Old Lines art. And back in the day, first of all, you can follow the tunnel, and then you get to a secret, was it like a secret headquarter kind of place somewhere else? But there was also a story instance, I believe, in there. And in the story instance, you had, I think it was like rats or something was constantly respawning, like huge numbers of rats. And players abused this to get the Weapon Master achievements. So you can just go in there and you just have like constantly respawning low level enemies, and you can just get your Weapon Master achievements. That was like very heavily used by lots of players back in the day. It was like had like an underworld feel to like the Old Lines art. It was very cool and I liked it a lot. And then was goes the jumping puzzle. That also started by jumping into one of the pipes or falling into one of the pipes and then going through tunnels. We'll just kind of count this into this, I guess. Yes, very good tunnel. That's I like a lot. Okay, we have 4 more, I believe. We have the Loxon. Let's just kind of go a little bit all over the place. So we have Dragon's End, the Loxon mini dungeon. I like the mini dungeon a lot. We'll just kind of put this up here. It's very short, it's very brief, it's a Jade Runestone, it's yeah, but it's a cool place. You have really like the Luxon feel, the architecture, you have this, I don't know if it's like an NPC or something is talking to you. There's like this voice when you have your game sound on, talking you through all the rooms and the themes of the rooms and all that kind of stuff. And then you end up in the Dragon's End, the fishing cave. That's also somewhere here on this list. I kind of lost. Oh, there it is, in B tier. So that's another way to get into this kind of place. But yeah, I like Demon Dungeon a lot. It's a good reward. It's rather fast. It's a good time. The Grove Backroot Tunnel. Is this the one to the prison? It might be the one to the prison. Yeah, it exists. I think nobody really ever cares for this one. Yeah, it's a thing, I guess. The mysterious new tunnel. I don't know what it is, so we just don't skip it, I guess. It's a new portal. We just don't know, so I cannot rate it, not really. And then we have Gyala Delves. So I would say Gyala Delves also very good. Actually, we'll move this a bit up. The zone itself. So the zone itself is amazing, just from a tunneling point of view. It maybe not be as amazing as the actual tunnel that we will get. But yeah, Gyala Delves is basically just one huge tunnel into the depths. It's just going deeper and deeper. The whole theme is really cool. The lighting, the colors, color palette is amazing. It's just getting very ominous when you move down. It's very silent down there as well, which is very weird. You have the fishing holes for rewards. The boss is boring as hell. We know that, but for like the zone and its design and all that, I think there are a lot of things to make up for this in terms of, is this a good tunnel? Yeah. Are we happy with this? Do we have any I don't know. Any other thoughts? Some additions to make? Do we have to correct things? You can let me know. I think that's what it is, where we're at.